trip, huh?
Yeah. A tour of America's most famous UFO hotspots.
I hear that.
I cannot believe we're gonna see Area 51.
Hi. I'm Paul.
It's like Little Miss Sunshine with Gollum in it. That was our kind of pitch, and we got Greg Mottola on board. We really wanted Greg, so we had the combined force of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and Superbad, and that was our kind of calling card, and that's why they finally let us do it. But initially, there was a lot of like, from our team, like, don't call it an indie film. Don't say it's like an indie film. It's got to be, and it is a bit broader and more mainstream than perhaps we've done before. But we could not have made this movie without making it more inclusive and allowing more people in on the joke. You know, right. There's enough in there for our kind of people to get everything, but you can get nothing at all of the references in the movie, and you'll still have a good time because there's romance and there's a chase and there's big broad gags and there's fun. You know, it was an interesting movie to make for us.
Hey, Clive.
Clive. Boomer, it's forbidden.
Hey, Clive.
Hey!
Clive! Let's go, guys! We gotta get out of here.
Where's Ruth?
She went back to the RV.
Of course. He can read minds.
We started writing Paul before I got Star Trek, and there were a couple of Star Trek references that we dropped because we felt like we were being too arch. It was like, It was too meta, a little too meta. But we also kind of like, there are also references in there to weird things like capturing the freedmen.
It was pretty built into the script, how it was gonna be parceled out. And my feeling was just not to put big quotations around anything. I didn't want it to hopefully turn into Scary Movie 12. I wanted it to, for the
Scary Movie 9.
Scary Movie 9, back when they were good. I wanted the lines and the references and the little music cues or whatever, or visual cues, to be there for the true believers. So the movie could work on two levels, that, it would be a funnier movie for people who knew all the references, but that it wouldn't alienate and make people feel like they were left out. So a lot of it are lines that those guys cleverly wrote in that just, move the scene forward. They just happens to be a line from Star Wars or something like that.
It's never really about the references, it's more about if they work, and it's always story first and they come second, and if something feels like it could be thrown out, then it does. It's important. I think people need we love to give people a level of the movie to do themselves. It's like, we're spoken down to way too much, and we're considered to be stupid way too much. I like the idea of participating a little bit, and you have to do some work. You have to go, oh, I get that, it's from that, that you do that. We just put it out there.
It's a miracle.
Oh, man, I'm gonna miss these.
Why would you do that?
I'm not gonna eat a dead bird, am I?
We get to a point where we think, oh, we could put the Raiders warehouse in here, or we could have Jason shooting the radio, or, even giving Sigourney's most famous line back to her. These are things that excite us, we don't have that cynical head where we think, right, we have to hit this, and this, because movie geeks will like it, it's us. It's ours, it's the fanboy in us saying, oh, that would be great,
Also, it's naturally, for us growing up as kids of the 70s and having grown up with that whole popular cinema thing, that's our frame of reference, really. That's where we go and we think of what something's like. We can be walking, I'll be, running down a corridor, and I'll immediately think, oh my God, it's like the Death Star trench, That's where my mind goes as for metaphors. And so anything in the film that felt like something, we'd say, oh, this is like that.
It's pistachios.
What are you?
And this is Stubbs. He's okay. He's friendly. His name's Paul.
Alien's Uncle Paul.
Was that Klingon? You psychotic nerd.
We basically knew Seth couldn't be there while we were shooting. He was off making Green Hornet, so in pre-production we just ran through the movie like a play. Videotaped everything Seth did. It was just Simon, Nick, sometimes, I think we had Kristen some days. No, actually we didn't have Kristen. So it was just Simon, Nick, and some other actors, and Seth, and we just did all the scenes. So we'd have like at least a pass of all of Paul's lines for editing purposes. And then I asked Joe Latulio as a favor, will you be the voice of Paul off camera while we're shooting? Which was so helpful because it gave Simon and Nick and Kristen someone to play off of who's also a great improviser. And then Seth went back and took some of Joe's improvs and revoiced them. And so it was this back and forth thing. And then, then it gets turned over to a team of like 30 animators, all animating one character. You meet the guy who's like in charge of eyelids and toenails.